I'm gonna go see if he wants to buy something else I got. You see something funny, right? So, against my better judgment, I'm doing something today. Something that, I don't know, I got bored, and I guess I decided to take some friends to the gun store and trade it for something else. What I'm hoping to do is take my ACR to the local gun store and trade it. I'm not looking for money. I don't need money or anything. I want something different. And I think that if I trade and really look at paying, basically spending the money that I get from him in his store, I'd end up getting some better trades. I'd end up getting a decent amount of money for my trade. Right now I'm heading into Doomsday Tactical and gonna see what see if they're too busy to make some deals or something today. They look pretty, they don't look too busy. I've seen them busier, but yeah, we'll see what they got to offer today. Good guys to deal with up there. So if you're in the Roanoke area, come check them out. Now, I'm not going to say what I traded for. Look, they all that's the man right there doing the paperwork. He went on ahead and he went for the deal. So paperwork being done. And he's down there shy. He does video. He's all shy. He's shy for him. You do a video every day on Facebook. Good guy right there. Doomsday Tactical. Come see him. He's a good guy. He's kind of yesterday I went and traded in my ACR. And a lot of people were asking, why'd you do that? Well, a couple reasons. One is I didn't use it. It held up a lot of space in my safe. And was it my most accurate gun? No. I build ARs that are more accurate. And the only reason why I got rid of it, though, was because I just really, I liked it. It was the novelty of having it and having such a cool piece. I just wanted to keep it in my collection, but more things were pressing. For me, I needed to get more stuff into my safe. I didn't want to buy another safe. Some people say that's a good problem to have. I don't want to buy another safe. I think that for me, all of my guns, all of my weapons are tools. They serve a purpose. So I had 2 EDC guns. I had my Glock 43, and then I had my Sig X-Carry. My Glock 43 was fine. The magazine capacity left me wanting more. So I went to the X-Carry, and the problem with the X-Carry, sorry, got a notification. The problem with the X-Carry is it printed, unless I wore it on the hip, but if I bent over, yeah, it printed badly. So I wanted to get a couple more EDCs. So I went over, as you seen earlier, or maybe you see later, I don't know, this is pre-editing, but I went over to Doomsday Tactical here in Roanoke, Virginia. Those guys are really cool dudes, and girls, Hannah. But they're really cool people. Went over there. As soon as I got to Roanoke, that was one of the first places I found. They do good advertising. They have a big billboard off the side of the road. So anyways, I stopped by there, checked them out, and just built a relationship with them since then. So I went over there, took the ACR in there, and of course the owner there, he always shuck and jive me, like he don't want it, but he know he do. The price that he offered me was what I thought I would get, and so with that I purchased a couple more firearms. I needed to get back into the Glock game, so I got a Glock 19 Gen 5, and then I also picked up this Heckler & Koch, however you pronounce it, VP9SK, and I've always wanted one of these since I've seen them. I didn't like the original VP9, but this one I really liked it, and I thought that it was a good EDC carry piece. And the color combination, I've seen them in all black. I've seen them in tan on top, black on the bottom, that scorched earth on bottom, black on top, and then I've seen them gray on bottom, black on top. But I have never seen this combination. And once I seen this combination, I was like, I gotta get it. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about this one as compared to my other EDC guns, and do just a quick little video on this gun and what my initial impression was. I shot it yesterday. I love it. So I'm gonna go down to the tabletop. This is gonna be one of those videos where I don't want to look at myself. I'm gonna have you actually paying attention to the gun. So let's get into that. Let me open up my safe real quick. And what I want to do is bring out my my EDC pieces. Old and new. Okay, and I'm gonna put another little one up here on top. You want? We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so let's talk about EDCs and the reason why I went with this one, and the reason why I really wanted it. So excuse the camera angle. My tripod is a little bit wobbly, but here we go. So my old EDC. This is my Glock 43. I got a Kydex holster with the TLR print in it, or the maybe have the TLR 6 on it. The TLR 6 is a laser light combo. This gun is safe, has a magazine in it, but the magazine is empty, chamber is empty, nothing's in there. So what did I do with this one when I got it? So when I first got it, I needed to make sure that, first of all, the base plate was super flush, and the gun, you can see I barely get 2 fingers on there, and not even the pinky. So what I didn't like about it was the fact that it was, sorry, I was out of focus. The fact that I couldn't get a good purchase on it. So the first thing I did was grip tape, of course, and then get the Terran Tactical +2s added to it. And that gave me good purchase and more controllability over the firearm. The next thing I did was put a ZEV connector in it so that the trigger pull was crisp and, you know, nice reset that was audible. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with the trigger at first, but I'm so used to having that ZEV connector in there that's the first thing I do with Glocks. I haven't done it yet with this one because I wanted to try this one before I did it. So because I'm told that trigger is pretty good. So we'll get into that later. And then I added a TLR 6, not because I wanted a laser on the gun, just because I did need a white light. And on my EDCs, I always put a white light on there. So this combination, though, I got this for $70 from a local FFL that had a used one. And so, yeah, I picked it up and got the holster for it. And this has been my EDC, right? Oh, crap. Good piece. I don't have any complaints about it. Sometimes forget that I have it on because of how thin it is. But again, it only has 8-round capacity. So it was a 6, added a +2. So it gave me 8 rounds plus 1 in the pipe, so 9. Okay, so that was that. Moving along, before the Glock 43, I carried the Sig X-Carry. This gun is also safe. Nothing in the chamber. Magazine is empty. So I carried the X-Carry. And what I carried the X-Carry in was a Galco leather holster. Get rid of that. This one, I really liked the length of the slide as far as concealability. I did not like the grip. I mean, that grip is pretty long, but it is a super comfortable gun and a flat shooter, and I can shoot this one accurately. The problem that I had with it, I could find ways to conceal it if I was wearing a sweater or something like that. But the problem with this one is, first of all, it just doesn't feel natural. The trigger pull on it, and see if you can see this here. Watch. It doesn't sound like a normal trigger pull. And then the reset on it, it's not really, it's not a click and a push. It's just, it lets out and it gives an audible, I wouldn't say gasp when it lets out. I mean, that doesn't even feel like a trigger pull and a reset. That's, I mean, it's just like a release. Anyways, and then also that back, I mean, let me put the mag out here. And the back of it moves quite a bit. I don't know if you can see right in this area. And, you know, for a SIG, I mean, I don't know. Some of these things just weren't thought out all the way. And while that's nothing, you can see it right here. Oh, it just pulled. Anyway, while that's nothing, don't get me wrong, the gun is accurate as hell. It feels good when you actually fire it. That trigger, the feel of that trigger actually takes away from that anticipation of feeling that snap, that pop when you pull the trigger. It just takes some getting used to. My biggest gripe with it, though, was, let me safe this one, because this is my EDC, so it is hot. But there's nothing in the chamber. Let me leave that one like that. It wouldn't fire these. These are, hell, I don't remember. What are they? Federal? No. Critical defense. That's what these are. I kept getting light primer strikes with this when I carried this, or if I put Hydra Shocks. You know, I had some of those. I had some Black Talons, 9mm I had forever. And I just said, hey, you know what? They're old. Let me just run through these and just see. And just running a different type of ammo through it. I kept getting some light primer strikes with it. The only rounds that I didn't get any malfunctions with running in this X-Carry was SIG ammo. Not a single hiccup. But everything else, even range ammo, Remington white box, I got like at least one light primer strike. So I take that light primer strike round, put it in this Glock, boom, it pops. So I went back from this back to this. I won't get rid of this because, like I said, I like the way it shoots and it feels, and it's my only optic ready gun, although I don't like optics. And then the sights on this is really nice. So I really like it. Maybe one day I'll get rid of it. Just won't be today. So going with this, last night when I actually fired this, it just, I mean, I'm going to put this in here, but I'm not going to rack it. So the one thing I like is that grip feels orgasmic. I mean, I can't even tell you how good. I don't like finger grooves, but I don't know, they got that part right. I mean, it just feels really nice. And I find myself just wanting to hold this gun all the time. It did have the night sights on there. Well, I wouldn't say those are night sights. There's some kind of paint on there that they glow. And then last night I had it next to my bed. It glowed all night, really bright. So take the hot bag out. Again, it's got the pink extension on there, but it doesn't add any rounds to it. Let's see, it's safe again. The trigger pull on it is nice and crisp. Probably one of the nicer out of the box triggers that I got. Reset. And that's what I'm used to seeing, that bump back. And it's right there. And, you know, it has a little bit of take up, but that wall is right there. There's no giving that wall. It's just a pop. I like the finish. Like I said, this color combination was something that I hadn't seen with the raw top and then the black bottom. I've seen them gray on the bottom, black on top. So I fell in love with that first. The other thing that I liked about this gun was that the grip. So when I first grabbed it and felt it with the, I thought it felt nice. I realized with my OVP9, yeah, I remember they had the straps that you can change out. So when I got this one, I remember I said, oh yeah, they have the straps that you can change out, you know, the back strap and the sides. And what I liked about my full-size VP was sometimes you have that gap in between here when you're gripping your pistol. And what this does is it fills that gap. So usually I'll run a large on this side, on my strong side, so that it fills in that palm swell. I'll run a medium on the back so that I can get the good purchase around it. And then I'll run a small here or a medium here because there's really no need for me. But because I wanted this to actually, the fingers on this side really don't matter, I just ran a medium in the back and 2 larges on both sides so that when I practice with my weak hand, I still get that palm swell that gets filled in there. So here's the flush mag. And if you want to just completely conceal, you go back to, I get a full purchase with both fingers, but you go back to that pinky not being on there. Something I can deal with. It's not a deal breaker for me. So I like that. Now let's get this out of the way. Let's just talk about striker fire. All right. Let's take this one out of the way because it's being represented here by the Glock 19 Gen 5. Now this is bone stock. I did fire a couple of rounds through this last night as well. The trigger does feel nicer, but I think it still can be bested by any aftermarket trigger like an Apex, Pyramid, Agency, of course. It could be bested. I mean, it's okay though for an EDC. So out of the box though, well, any of these triggers, what would I say out of the box would be the best trigger out of these for offerings? Well, I'm still going to say you got this one. This one here, and this is safe. I showed you that. So this one right here, the trigger is a little bit, that take up is the only issue I really have is that's a really spongy take up. There is a little bit of give after you hit the wall, but when you're actually firing, you don't feel that give. The take up is where this shines. That take up is so short, right there. You're back on it. So I do like this trigger. Secondly, strangely enough, this trigger. Then this one. Then this one. As far as just accuracy, or I would say reliability. Again, I haven't had any problems with any of these. This one, I have the most rounds through, of course, because these two are new over here. This one has about maybe 500 rounds and I haven't had a hiccup with it. This one, I've had about the same through it, and I can't tell you how many malfunctions or light primer strikes. Is usually what I'm getting with this is light primer strike. I can't tell you how many I've had with this, but it's been numerous. Enough that I wouldn't trust my life to that. Unless I'm running Sig ammo, because watching it, Sig ammo runs flawlessly through it. But I trust my life to this one. I don't have any issues with it. Never had a hiccup, never had a jam. With as many rounds I got going through it as well, it doesn't show much wear. I mean, so it's pretty durable. I really like this one. But I'm going to give these two a try. Now, my previous experience with a Glock, I don't need to give it much. Cause for concern. Let me move this over here. I don't really have to worry about that one. That one's going to do what it do. This one here, same thing. But I haven't had much experience with it because I hated the VP9 so much that as soon as I got it, I started looking for a replacement, and I just had it just to say I got it. This one here, though, I'm in love with it. I love the way it shoots. I just got to get some more time with it, and before I actually move it into rotation. For now, of course, I'm going to still keep rocking the Glock 43 until I get at least 300, 400 rounds on that one. And then all different type of ammunition when I'm safe, when I feel comfortable with it, then I'll go ahead and I'll roll it into the rotation.